left field prediction of Skywalkers doesn't quite pay off this time around. In fact, they come dead last, weren't able to get a foot in the door during that game.
And you make a good point. There is a lot on the line for these teams coming in today, but there's also more cycles going on throughout the year leading up to the Grand Major, which is awesome. I think it's great. Yeah, here we go for the third spot in the finale, the top 4 here. We've got Five Fears versus Random Tongues, and we have been talking so much about these two teams, Dianic, that they are such heavy hitters coming into this. And Random Tongues, too. You know, I got to give it to them. Haven't made it through the cash outs a lot, really, into the 3v3s, but the 3v3s that they have played, Dianic, they've been looking really good in.
They've been looking absolutely fantastic. Random Tongues, again, a great 3v3 team. But here again, Roma, just such a difficult player to play against. He needs to be really focused here a little bit by the opponent team. Five is gonna have to have their eyes on the side of Roma. Look at him. He's already spotting as the invis, waiting for somebody to peek around a little bit. Both the teams are playing very reserved, very slow. They know what is at stakes, so they don't want to make any slip-ups.
Yeah, Dyrani on Winch BFR, too. It's been a long time since I've seen that. We're going to see how that ends up playing out. I'm not sure. I don't think we've been able to see what Nagos is running quite yet, but I'm expecting him either to stick on that SA-12 or to kind of swap over to the Shack again, as he's been doing for the 3v3s. But huge damage. Treason trying to get some damage onto Koreki there, brings him down to just about 1 bar of HP, but some shots ring back towards Treason himself, so he's going to have to back off before he's able to confirm that kill. And Roma taking a little bit of damage of himself as he heals up Koreki. And both teams now just kind of backing off a little bit as the standoff continues, with the box still pretty much in control of Random Tongues here, but they don't really want to move it too much until they at least get a pick, because they don't want Five Fears kind of getting the jump on him. But they did get that reverse gateway set up, as they've been kind of keeping an eye on where Five Fears is hanging out. Five Fears also doing a really good job at controlling that middle side of the map to try to force them over towards A here. Not wanting them to take over that Cathedral side, which is notoriously hard to fight into. But Random Tongues finally getting this plug now, Dianic.
Got themselves a plug, but here again, Five Phase is not wiped. So this first team who wipes going to have a huge advantage. You see Random Tongues, especially Roman, are sitting on top of that billboard. Get a little bit of information. But also those sonar grenades are going to give so much info. Very so gameplay as for right now. We can see here again, both teams very tense. Want to play this passive, want to make sure the other opponent team makes the first slip up. But unfortunately, Five Face, they can't really rely on that ult too much, because they are the attacking team. They need to be the team who make the first initiation. And there we go. Beautiful RPG. Going to do quite a lot of damage. Nearly finding a play out as well. Nagos was a chip away from death. Luckily from the side of Five Fears, they had a little bit of a backup plan. Roma's going to be the first one's going to be beautifully winched down below, executed, and also eliminated. Oh wait, a 2v3 has been established again. No defense coins, takes 20 seconds to coin in. So from the side of Random Tongues, a bit of a difficult position to be in right now.
Yeah, definitely a difficult position to be in. And that RPG landing on that barricade, not getting a lot of damage, but the winch does connect. Nagos rocking that SA-12, able to take out Koreki there. Now it's only Durrani left alive, and they are chasing him down. He is not able to make it out of there, and that is Five Fears swapping this money over to their control.
A little bit of time left. Again, they took their time, especially that first kill on Roma was absolutely beautiful. That was kind of play deciding. A great winch coming out from the side of Nagos. Not only did that isolate Roma from his entirety of the team, but Random Tongues couldn't even really execute on that winch. They were a bit too far away, but they're ready to be spawned back into the game. Unfortunately, a bit too far away, so the first cash out is going to go to the side of Five Fears. They have a great head start here, but they gotta be careful because there still might be a few more upon them. I don't think Random Tongues are gonna really let that one rest. I think that just fires them up a little bit more.
Yeah, it might do just that. And, you know, Random Tongues, with the way their loadouts are set up, especially with Durrani rocking that BFR, these rooftop kind of neutral ground fights are much more in favor of Random Tongues. Five Fears with Nagos on that SA-12 are going to have to force close range fights a lot more often, which they've been doing pretty good at, using that gateway to kind of close that gap. But we'll see how it keeps end up playing out here. Treason is really the only one that's kind of able to battle against Random Tongues in that neutral ground with that LH1 and rocking that invis. Roma opting to switch over to LH1 in this one as well too, which kind of means that Random Tongues are all on long-range loadouts here. And we do have this gateway set up. Fox is going to end up going through that right about now, through that gateway, and Five Fears are still just kind of holding them there. But they know that Treason is on that flank there. 2 shots landing from Dyrani, but unfortunately, neither one was a headshot, so leaving him just about 1 HP there. And he makes it out of there with that escape gateway, and they have stolen the box away from him, Diana.
It's a plug, but they're gonna have to be careful that there couldn't be really a setup time. Beautiful winch coming up, but no, he can't really use this winch if there is an execution coming in from the side of 5 Fears. They're gonna have to play a little bit back here. Maybe even let the steal happen just because of the winch fact that it makes a huge difference. There we go. The steal has been successful. They tried to sneak up, but it's not gonna be as into their favor as they hoped. It's gonna be dropped as well. Look at it, down from the roof. Back into possession and control yet again from Random Tongues. 5 Fears, they're big split up. Never mind. Carnifex's going to be taken out. And then meanwhile, Karek is going to take quite a lot of damage. We can see the hunt happening right now. They really want to make sure that 5 Fears have no chance of really setting up back again. But unfortunately, they've just slipped through. And Random Tongues, they really are not allowed to lose the prize here. Or the eye on the prize. You got to make sure the objective is their priority #1.
Yeah, and 5 Fears, their movement is just so good. I mean, immediately taking that high ground away from him, and Durrani using his RPG to try to get that chase and not end up paying out, which is a really high-risk, high-reward play. You end up using that RPG, and you might not have it for the beginning of this fight, but Nagos is going to throw out that winch. It's not going to connect, but they do have a reverse gateway up to that high ground again. Treason is going to set up his own reverse gateway and hop on that steal to see how much is going to go. Carnifex with the help, trying to do as much damage as he can as they go through there. They're going to end up using that escape gateway to get out, and nobody end up dying in this one. And Random Tongues are still going to be holding on to it just a little bit longer. But as I say that, Roma finds a pick onto Treason, which is really going to open up this fight. But 5 Fears are going to turn it on him. Nagos and Carnifex each getting one of their own. Roma has been back in, though, and he is the last one alive. Is he going to be able to stall this out? He has a little bit of an angle on this, but I don't know if he's going to be able to clutch it up just in time. He dives on him, but it's too late. Random Tongues, they got it at the last second.
Last very second, and here again, this is something really difficult to pull off if your opponent is Roma. You just saw the split-second decision there, and this is what I really want to highlight about this player. He was the last man standing, he had the gun, he's done previously damage, so he knew the player must be very low HP, the one who's going for the steal, and he didn't focus the kill on top. He dived in, he went in, full sent it, and got the kill, and eventually it turned into a cash out to the advantage. It means we go all the way to a third box, and this is really gonna make now the difference. And here again, 5 Fears, they're gonna have to be expecting this. They need to expect Roma to constantly be doing this. So far, he's clutched out 3 cash outs by being the last man alive, and that is just something to really stand out of a play.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And look at Treason up here on the very, very top of this cathedral with that LH1, just getting some nice pot shots in across the map there. Getting a little bit of jiggle peeking going on. Some of them connecting there, which is going to kind of, well, it might slow them down a little bit, but it also just kind of keeps them on their toes as they're trying to decide where they go, as the rest of 5 Fears, that being Carnifex and Nagos, can kind of decide where they're going to really hop onto. Because remember, Nagos has that SA-12. He has to be able to get in there and close the distance. And while Treason is getting those off angles there, really the only way that Nagos can get in there is he's got to be thrown in there like a Pokemon by Carnifex pretty much through that gateway. So we're going to see how they're going to end up doing this, as now Random Tongues has this box, knowing that 5 Fears is kind of surrounding them, just kind of keeping this on this high ground dynamic.
The invis and a long distance guns that Random Tongues has. Trying to play this one slow, evaluate where 5 Fears are. They're currently just holding strong on cash out D, building a bit of a fortress, trying to make sure that Random Tongues cannot plug. You at least have to give away a body if they want to plug. There's enough time for them to really play this out. Unfortunately, cash out B is right behind 5 Fears as well, so Random Tongues, they need to come up with a solution, because they cannot run around because it's in the exact same direction as the one right in front of them.
Yeah, that is very true. And Treason here sitting up here on Invis. Again, trying to get some crazy shots, but look at Roma there. Invis as well. Kind of behind that box a little bit. Treason knows he's kind of in that general area. And it's just kind of coming down to whoever can sit there the longest. Looks like Roma finally moved. Treason does give a shot up on him there. But Roma's going to go ahead and just kind of safely reposition. Really well thrown sonar nade by Treason there, though. Able to find out almost all three of them. I think it only pinged 2 there, but kind of knows the general area that they're sitting now. He's going to feed that information to his team, and I think Carnifex and Nagos, they don't want to overcommit here. They're going to wait until Treason can get a little bit of damage, or he's going to calm that they start moving, which, look at that. He's going to go through. Treason saw that. He kind of aimed down a little bit. But here comes Nagos and Carnifex. That's what they were waiting for. Big Winch ends up coming through. Dyrani, though, trying to get some BFR shots as he can, but Carnifex coming in to help Nagos. Nagos finding the kill onto Dyrani. Here comes Kareki with the Revo, though, able to take out Carnifex. Treason going to get the trade, though, but here comes a trade with Roma again, too, leaving it down to a 1v1 Roma versus Treason. Treason's going to res right in front of his face. He wasn't able to find him. And now Nagos is back up, left alive. That box is here, right in here, and it's finally going to get plugged, leaving 5 Fears in a really good spot. Roma, though, with a really good heads-up play, is going to grab a body and back out. They're going to have to wait for Kareki to coin in.
Oh, unfortunately going to find himself in a next team fight. They need this first kill in order to bring it back down to a 2v2. They're quite splitsy away from each other. The coin has happened in the meanwhile, but there is a kill going through. 5 is currently standing still stronger than Random Tongues. Yet again, Kareki and Roma very split from each other. They're slowly closing the distance, but Roma has been spotted in the meanwhile. They really got to be careful to not lose the timer on the cash. And look at Roma, she's just going towards the cash out, maybe trying to drag them back towards the cash out. There is go. A bit of a gateway has been established. They know exactly what's going on right now. Kareki also rotating around and setting up towards and closer as before. Denair is also now back into the game. And this is going to set them up for a great execute, Dread. This is going to be quite spicy because this is their only attempt. If the wipe happens in a longer time, they're not going to have a second chance.
Yeah, they won't. This is going to be it. The last fight of the match here. Dyrani is going to end up going down, but they do get the trade onto Treason there. Turning us into a 2v2, but Kareki is on the medium. He's got the defib off onto Dyrani and gets the kill onto Nagos as well. Now Dyrani is going to stick this as Carnifex is the last one left alive. And we might have spoke a little bit too soon. We might have one more fight go through as not a full wipe has happened. And a reset is coming through for 5 Fears just a little bit. But they're not going to be able to get to Nagos' spotty. So it's really only going to be a 2v3 here. Carnifex and Treason. They're going to try to clutch this out as best they can. But Treason walks right into a winch from Dyrani there. And he's going to hit a little bit of an emote there as he is really proud of that winch because Roma found the kill onto Carnifex. And that is the last wipe of this match. Random Tongues taking out 5 Fears to secure another spot in the top 4.
They're going to send 5 Fears right back into the rotation. Random Tongues now into stage number 3. What a chaotic last fight. Yes, of course, it was a bit of a reset, but let's be honest, a 2v3 should never be possible, especially when you have the upper hand. And when you have a team like Roma, a player who will always focus the objective over kills, it is going to be an impossible task to really bring back. An absolute wonderful of a play. That initiate execution to switch around, to manipulate the spawn and bring everybody to the cash out and not fight on the other side. Good key play. They made the call. They were successful. Jerry, again, a showcase why Random Tongues should not be underestimated.
And that's 5 Fears Folly. Possibly the most exciting and tactical 3 versus 3 we've seen today. It went the distance. And holy Roma. I mean, he is the man today. He is him. He's turned up and said, I am going to clutch every clutch you throw at me. And the damage he's putting out, whether it's with the join them, as we take a look at the bracket and see how that's played out, you can see Random Tongues in that gold slot right up the top alongside Boba Slurpers and Special Force.